Once upon a time, there was a person who dreamed of success, but was trapped in endless distractions. Every day began with good intentions and ended with unfinished goals. But one moment changed everything. They decided to focus. They realized that success isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters consistently. The power of a focused mind turned their chaos into clarity, and their dreams into daily progress. This story isn't just about them. It's about you. Because when you master focus and simple habits, your entire life begins to shift toward purpose, peace, and unstoppable growth. Focus is the foundation of transformation, because it gives direction to your energy, purpose to your actions, and meaning to your efforts. When your mind is scattered, even your greatest talents lose their power. But when your thoughts, emotions, and energy align with one clear purpose, everything begins to shift. Focus is not just about looking at one thing. It's about saying no to everything that doesn't serve your growth. It's about silencing the noise of the world and listening to the quiet voice within that knows exactly what you're meant to do. Transformation doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of deliberate focus applied over time. When you choose to focus, you take control of your story. You stop being reactive and start being intentional. You no longer chase every opportunity or idea that passes by. Instead, you pursue what truly aligns with your purpose. Every successful person you admire mastered the art of focus before they mastered their craft. They learned that focus turns confusion into clarity and effort into excellence. It's not about working harder, it's about working with precision, directing every ounce of energy toward the things that truly matter. In a world full of distractions, focus becomes your superpower. Notifications, opinions, and temptations will always try to pull you away from your path. But focus keeps you anchored. It reminds you why you started and where you're headed. The more you focus, the more your inner world transforms. Discipline replaces doubt, clarity replaces chaos, and purpose replaces procrastination. Transformation begins the moment you decide to give your full attention to one thing and see it through, no matter how long it takes. Focus is not easy. It demands sacrifice. It asks you to let go of comfort, to say no to instant gratification, and to choose growth over pleasure. But every time you focus, you plant a seed of transformation within yourself. Over time, that seed grows into confidence, mastery, and peace. The truth is, your life changes when your focus changes. What you give your attention to shapes your reality. When you focus on your purpose, your actions align with your dreams, and transformation becomes not just possible, but inevitable. Small daily habits create massive life changes, because transformation rarely happens in a single moment. It happens through quiet consistency. Every tiny decision you make each day shapes who you are becoming. Waking up a little earlier, reading a few pages, exercising for 10 minutes, or choosing gratitude instead of complaints may seem insignificant at first, but these simple acts build powerful momentum. The secret is not perfection. It's persistence. Success doesn't demand big leaps. It asks for small, steady steps in the right direction. When you commit to small habits, you begin to rewire your mind. Each repetition builds discipline, strengthens belief, and increases confidence. Over time, these actions become automatic, and you no longer rely on motivation. You rely on rhythm. You start realizing that greatness isn't built in a day, but developed through daily devotion. The people who seem unstoppable didn't start strong. They started small and stayed consistent. Habits are like drops of water that carve through stone. Slow, steady, and unstoppable. When you practice positive habits daily, your mindset begins to shift. You stop waiting for the perfect time or perfect feeling to act. You act because it's part of who you are. Each small habit compounds, turning ordinary days into extraordinary progress. The power lies not in what you do once, but in what you repeat every single day. Small daily habits also protect you from overwhelm. Instead of trying to change everything at once, You focus on one meaningful action. That focus gives you control, and that control builds confidence. When you look back after weeks or months, you'll see how far you've come, not through drastic changes, but through quiet commitment. Transformation begins with a single step, repeated with faith and patience. Remember, every great dream is built on small, invisible habits that nobody sees. The person who learns to master their mornings, their thoughts, and their actions one day at a time eventually masters their life. Small daily habits are the hidden architecture of success. They remind you that progress isn't loud or dramatic, it's gentle, consistent, and unstoppable. And when you honor those habits daily, massive change becomes not just a possibility, but your new reality. Eliminate distractions to unlock true potential, because every distraction steals a piece of your focus, energy, and time. In a world full of noise, your greatest challenge isn't lack of ability. It's the constant pull of things that don't matter. Distractions come in many forms: social media, negative thoughts, unnecessary drama, or even the fear of missing out. Each one seems small, but together, they build a wall between you and your purpose. The more distracted you are, the further you drift from your goals. True potential is revealed when your mind becomes still enough to hear your own direction. When you eliminate distractions, you regain control over your attention. And attention is the most valuable currency you have. The people who rise above mediocrity are not necessarily more talented, they are simply more focused. They understand that their energy is limited and choose to spend it wisely. Every notification you ignore, every unproductive habit you release, brings you closer to clarity. The space you create by saying no becomes the ground where growth begins. Distraction is a silent thief that robs you of momentum. It doesn't just waste time, it weakens purpose. But the moment you decide to declutter your environment, your thoughts, and your emotions, you awaken something powerful within. You begin to feel lighter, more intentional, more in control. The noise fades, and what remains is focus, pure, sharp, and unstoppable. That's when you start operating at your highest level, because your mind is no longer scattered. The truth is, success doesn't require doing everything. It requires doing the right things without interruption. When you cut away distractions, you discover how much potential was waiting beneath the surface all along. You move faster, think clearer, and feel more peace. Your creativity expands, your discipline deepens, and your confidence grows. The energy that was once wasted on meaningless things becomes the power that fuels your purpose. Eliminating distractions isn't about isolation, it's about alignment. It's choosing depth over noise, progress over pleasure, and purpose over passivity. When your attention belongs fully to your vision, your potential stops being a possibility and becomes your reality. That's the moment you realize focus, not time, is the true measure of success. Consistency beats intensity every time, because real success is not built on short bursts of motivation, but on daily discipline. Anyone can give their best for a day, but few can stay committed when the excitement fades. Consistency is what turns goals into habits and habits into results. It's the quiet force that keeps you moving forward when no one is watching. Intensity burns bright but fades quickly. Consistency burns steady and lights the way toward lasting growth. The power of consistency lies in showing up. Even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it. Each small act of consistency compounds over time, creating unstoppable momentum. A single workout won't change your body, but 100 will. Reading one page doesn't make you wise, but reading daily shapes your mind. Speaking kindly once doesn't define your character, but doing it every day builds integrity. Transformation is not found in extremes. It's found in persistence. Consistency turns effort into excellence and vision into victory. The secret of every great achiever is not that they always feel inspired. It's that they keep showing up when inspiration is gone. They understand that consistency builds trust with yourself. Every time you follow through on a promise, you prove to your mind that you can be relied upon. That self-trust becomes confidence, and that confidence fuels more action. Over time, the person who stays consistent will always outperform the one who only works in bursts of energy. Consistency also brings stability. It allows you to grow slowly, sustainably, and powerfully. It teaches patience, endurance, and balance. It helps you understand that progress is not always visible, but it is always happening beneath the surface. Each day you stay consistent, you plant seeds of transformation, and one day, those seeds bloom into success. So keep showing up. Keep moving, even if the steps are small. Because every act of consistency is a vote for the future you're creating. It's the difference between temporary change and lasting transformation. In the end, intensity may start the journey, but consistency is what finishes it. A clear mind leads to clear decisions, because when your thoughts are calm and centered, your choices reflect wisdom instead of confusion. Most people live in constant mental noise, overthinking, doubting, and worrying about what might go wrong. But when you quiet that noise, you begin to see life as it truly is. Clarity allows you to separate what matters from what doesn't, what's urgent from what's important. A clear mind doesn't rush, it reflects, understands, and moves with purpose. Every great breakthrough, every life-changing choice, begins with mental stillness, not chaos. When your mind is cluttered, even simple decisions feel heavy. You second-guess yourself, hesitate, and lose confidence. But when your thoughts are organized and your emotions balanced, you act with strength and certainty. Clarity turns confusion into confidence. It helps you align your actions with your values and goals, ensuring that every step you take leads you closer to the life you want. A clear mind doesn't seek perfection, it seeks direction. It knows that peace produces power. The more you clear mental clutter, distractions, regrets, negative voices, the sharper your vision becomes. You start seeing opportunities where before you only saw obstacles. You begin to understand that confusion is not a lack of options, but a lack of focus. When your mind is still, your intuition speaks louder. You begin to trust yourself more, because you're no longer operating from fear, but from awareness. Clarity is freedom. It frees you from unnecessary stress, overthinking, and the weight of indecision. You realize that every decision doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be aligned with who you are and where you're going. The clearer your mind, the more confident your actions become. To live with a clear mind, you must create space. Through reflection, rest, and focus. Step back when life feels loud. Breathe. Listen to your inner voice. Because once the mind becomes quiet, your path becomes visible. Every decision flows naturally, guided not by panic, but by purpose. And that's the power of clarity. It transforms uncertainty into direction, and turns hesitation into bold. Confident movement discipline turns focus into lasting success, because focus without discipline is just a wish. Discipline is the bridge between intention and achievement, the force that keeps you moving long after motivation fades. It's what transforms your vision into daily action, your dreams into habits, and your effort into results. Discipline doesn't rely on feelings. It relies on commitment. It means doing what needs to be done, even when it's uncomfortable, inconvenient, or unseen. True success is never an accident. It's the natural outcome of consistent, disciplined choices made over time. Discipline builds strength from the inside out. It trains your mind to resist distractions, your body to endure discomfort, and your spirit to stay grounded in purpose. When you are disciplined, you no longer wait for the perfect moment. You create it. You show up, you put in the work, and you trust the process. Every disciplined action is a statement of faith in your future self. It says, I believe in the person I'm becoming, even when the results aren't visible yet. The beauty of discipline is that it multiplies over time. What begins as effort soon becomes a rhythm. and that rhythm becomes a lifestyle. It builds habits that support your goals automatically. You stop fighting yourself, because doing the right thing becomes second nature. Discipline removes the friction between desire and action. It gives you control over your direction, no matter what challenges arise. Many people start strong but give up too soon, because they rely on emotion instead of discipline. Emotion is fleeting, discipline is steady. It keeps you grounded when motivation disappears. It reminds you that progress is built in the quiet moments, when no one is watching. Discipline is not punishment, it's power. The power to stay consistent, the power to grow, and the power to succeed when others quit. When discipline and focus come together, they create unstoppable momentum. Focus shows you where to go, discipline gets you there. It's the steady heartbeat behind every success story. And once you master discipline, success stops being something you chase. It becomes something you naturally attract, because your habits, mindset, and actions are all moving in the same direction.